central bank digital currency being issued by the Fed. One of the things you said yesterday is that one of the stronger arguments in favor of a CBDC is that, quote, you wouldn't need stable coins, you wouldn't need cryptocurrencies if you had a digital U.S. currency. Of course, isn't the reverse also true? If you have stable coins, cryptocurrencies in use, then maybe there's no need for a central bank digital currency. I guess my 2 points. One is it's my view that the development of a central bank digital currency by the Fed would require congressional authorization. I'm wondering if you share that view. And secondly, it is still not clear to me what problem a central bank digital currency would solve. And I wonder if you think there are problems that only a central bank digital currency can solve.
So first, I'm legitimately undecided on whether the benefits outweigh the costs or vice versa or on a CBDC. Yesterday, I was answering a direct question about a particular argument. I said, in favor, that would be one of the stronger arguments. Okay. I would agree that the more direct route would be to appropriately regulate stablecoins, which we don't do right now, and that's going to be a very important thing that we do. So in terms of congressional authorization, there are different views on that. I've said publicly, and I think this is right, that we would want very broad support in society and in Congress, and ideally that would take the form of authorizing legislation as opposed to a very careful reading of ambiguous law to support this. It's a very, very important initiative, and I do think we should ideally get authorization. In terms of what the problem is to solve, I think that is exactly the right question, and I think our obligation is to explore both the technology and the policy issues over the next couple of years. That's what we're going to do so that we're in a position to make an informed recommendation. But my mind is open on this, and I honestly don't have a preconceived answer.
We have just listened to what Federal Reserve Chairman Powell had to say, and coincidentally, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen is to discuss stable coins with regulators next week, and the day that she's doing that is today. It is the 19th of July of 2021 when she's going to meet together with a whole lot of other people representing a whole lot of other organizations. I think it is quite evident what the Federal Reserve wants to do. They want their own currency. The central banks around the world are already in the stages of planning their own central bank digital currencies. They've been in those plans for months, if not a few years, even during the last administration. So they have a plan, but they know they've got to get everyone else on board. So we're just going to look at what else Janet Yellen is going to be talking about during her meeting. Okay, so Treasury Secretary Yellen is to discuss stable coins with U.S. regulators. It says next week. Well, that next week is today, this very day, July 19th of 2021. And we're going to read what's going to happen. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen will meet with the President's Working Group on Financial Markets next week to discuss the role stable coins could play in the financial system. The meeting will take place Monday, which is today, July 19th, and will include representatives from the Office of Comptroller of the Currency and the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, the FDIC, the Treasury announced Friday. Stable coins are digital currencies designed to be less volatile than other cryptocurrencies by pegging their market value to an outside asset like the U.S. dollar. Bringing together regulators will enable us to assess the potential benefits of stable coins while mitigating risk they could pose to users, markets, or the financial system, Yellen said in a statement Friday. In light of the rapid growth in digital assets it's important for the agencies to collaborate on the regulation of this sector and the development of any recommendations for new authorities. So, as you can see, there are going to be new regulatory people heading new regulatory areas concerning the digital financial system, the digital markets. And they've already got these people in place, but they've got to get the information out there. They got to get everybody on board. And this means that more agencies are going to be created because the government will be involved. So regulators have become increasingly concerned about transparency in the trading of stable coins, the reserves backing them, and how much market participants rely on them to enable trading in decentralized finance, also known as DeFi. They're growing in popularity and interest. Earlier this year, Visa said it would begin supporting payments on its network in the dollar-backed stable coin, US dollar coin, as we can see right here. Okay, it should be quite evident to a lot of people what is playing out if your eyes are open. But if your eyes aren't open, you're not going to understand what is taking place. Okay, the credit cards are implementing their systems, and they're updating their systems with these blockchains that are going to accept digital currency. We're going to continue reading. As more companies with cryptocurrency businesses go public or prepare to do so, like Coinbase and Circle, the industry needs further regulatory clarity on stable coins. On Thursday, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell acknowledged before the Senate Banking Committee that stable coins would need an appropriate framework. I want to take a moment to listen to what the Federal Reserve Chairman said in an interview. Because it's important, you all. We need to literally open our ears and listen to what is actually being said instead of hearing it and letting it go in one ear and out the other and dismissing it. They mean business. Okay, they mean business. So we're going to listen to what he had to say during this short interview. Okay, thank you. Thank you for being here and being interested in what's happening in our world globally, because it's so very important to be made aware of what is happening in different areas, not just, the pandemic, the lockdowns and all this. There's things happening on multiple fronts. And I think it would be very, what's the word that I'm looking for? I can't think of it right now on the tip of my tongue, but I just cannot think of it. But that's okay. We need to pay attention. We really do. And we need to know this so that we can prepare. Okay, yeah, I know what the word was. I think it would be very neglectful of us when this information is being given. It would be very neglectful on our behalf to tune it out. So let's listen to what he had to say.
The Chinese last month unveiled the world's first digital currency from a major power, currency that would not be printed but would exist only in cyberspace on your phone, for example. Is the Fed working on a digital dollar?
We are actually evaluating that. Most major countries are now looking at the possibility of having a digital currency and really asking the question, in our very modern advanced economy with a fast, efficient, full-blown payment system, would adding a digital currency, a form of digital currency, would it actually benefit the public that we serve? That's the question that we're asking. We're working very hard on that. We're also doing quite a lot of technological experiment. I mean, technology has made this a possible thing, and so we feel it's our obligation to understand it. How would it work? What would the features of it be? There are many
subtle and difficult policy choices and design choices that you'd have to make. We're doing all that work. We have not made a decision to do this because, again, the question is, will this benefit the people that we serve? And we need to answer that question well. And we need to involve the public and Congress deeply in that process, because it would be an important step if we were to do this.
But given the fact that the final decision hasn't been made, you are doing, if I understand you correctly, software development, even graphic design on what a digital dollar would look like and act like.
Yes, we're doing lots and lots of work. We're doing stuff jointly with with other central banks. We're doing things at the Boston Fed, and many of the regional Feds have little projects going on. Here at the board, we have a group of people who are doing software development and that kind of thing. You know, this is really just table stakes. This is understanding the technology and the possibilities so that you can really address the policy issues.
You think it's likely?
I think it's possible, is all I would say. You've seen many other countries like ours, well-off countries like ours, that are looking at it seriously. In some of those countries, the use of cash has declined precipitously. That is not the case here. Americans still like to use cash. So it's something that'll be decided based on the situation here in the United States.
Are you considering a digital dollar in order to compete with the cryptocurrencies that are out there already, like Bitcoin?
That's not the principal reason, I wouldn't say. It is a fact that there are private sector currencies, stable coins, and cryptocurrencies as well. Those are not at a level or a scale that is concerning at this point. Really, really the fundamental question for us is, if we add this, will that help the public? Will the public be better off? And will there be any negatives too? Will that have perhaps unexpected effects in other parts of the financial system that we need to consider in weighing the costs and benefits of this? We're the world's reserve currency. The dollar is so important. We need to get this right. We do not need to be the first ones to do this. We want to get it right.
Okay, he said we want to get it right. I apologize, the very end piece got cut off. So he wants to get it right. So for all of those people out there who may think that the central banks will not be involved in the digital currency, all of this, they are going to be very much involved. They are going to regulate it as much as they can. They're going to play a central role when this finally kicks off. See, look this, the money flower, a taxonomy of money. You have in the very center, you have the central bank reserves, the digital bank, the central bank digital currencies, the central bank issued cryptocurrency wholesale, the central bank issued cryptocurrency retail. The central bank, their DNA fingerprints are all over the digital currency that is going to be rolled out. Their fingerprints are all over it, you all. The Federal Reserve is going to be involved. The central banks are going to be involved. This is global. This is universal. Universally accessible electronic central bank issued currencies. And then we're going to have peer-to-peer happening, you all. Our world is changing, and I think that it is in our best interest to be made aware of how this change is occurring behind the scenes. And really, if you think about it, it's not really occurring behind the scenes. It's just that there is other news out there that is distracting. It's like the news out there, it's like turning the TV on and there's a certain news topic and the volume is turned up so loud and that's all you can hear. Okay, and it's on the TV screens and it's in the news so much, so that's all you see. But there is so much more happening, and it's out there in the open too, but the volume on it is turned way down. And it's not being lambasted all across the screens, all across the medias globally. It's not, you all. And somebody has to bring this news out, okay? And I know it's not popular. I know people don't want to hear it, but I feel led within my spirit to bring this out, okay, and raise the awareness we need to prepare our spirits, our minds, and in whatever the way we can. Okay, it is imperative. It's imperative. Our world is changing, and it's changing rapidly in so many ways. So we know by now, and if you didn't, I'm sure if you went to a store, you've seen signs that said we have a coin shortage. So let's look at this. The NACS joins U.S. Coin Task Force. Participants convene to identify ways to address the coin circulation issue. See, this is today. You may say, Gina, what is the NACS? This is what the NACS is, National Association of Convenience Stores. Its retailing was founded on August the 14th of 61, the National Association of Convenience Stores. Today, it's an international trade association representing more than 2,100 retail and 1,600 supply company members. I want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in, for watching this video, for thinking outside the box and not closing your ears to what is being said out there in the news outlets around the world. I want to thank you. Thank you for being interested in this video, because I think it's crucial that we understand what's happening. And it's happening global. What's happening all around the world. You may say, well, there's no coin shortage in the other countries. Well, there's a coin shortage in the United States. And we're going to see how this coin shortage is tying into the digital currency that is being brought into fruition all across the world, you all. This is global. Alexandria, Virginia. To address the ongoing coin circulation issue resulting from COVID-19 pandemic, the NACS has been invited to serve on the U.S. Coin Task Force, a group dedicated to identifying and promoting strategies to get coins moving again. The United States Mint and Federal Reserve convened the task force, which is made up of members representing all major participants in the coin supply chain. And that's pretty neat. I'm glad that they are involving them. I really am, because they need to be involved. Half of America stops by a convenience store every day, and the average in-store transaction is $7.34. The ability to make change for our cash-paying customers is imperative. NACS welcomes the opportunity to join the U.S. Coin Task Force. Sounds pretty impressive. And lend our industry's unique voice to the issue in an effort to get coins moving, states Anna Reddy Blom, NACS Director of Government Relations. We're going to read a little bit more about this coin shortage that's taken place. The coin circulation issue developed early on in the pandemic when many businesses and bank lobbies were closed. Most Americans were home, and those who were paying for goods were using less and less cash. As a result, retailers across the country saw a drastic drop in the coin orders they were able to get filled at their banks, presenting significant challenges in making change for cash-paying customers. This has had a disparate effect on businesses like convenience stores that serve Americans who rely on cash to pay for goods and services, especially on low-dollar transactions. While many referred to what was happening as a shortage, the U.S. Coin Task Force explains that there are in fact enough coins, they are just not moving. There is more than $40 billion in coin already in circulation, most of which is sitting dormant inside of America's 128 million households. As people have changed their spending habits and coin-intensive businesses and financial institution lobbies have been less accessible, the nation's coin is pooling in change jars, in car cup holders, and in shuttered businesses making it difficult for the businesses of this country to get the coin that they need to support the cash transactions, state the U.S. Coin Task Force. You may say, well, I didn't know that. Well, I didn't know that either, but that's their explanation. The NACS sent letters raising the issue last summer to the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell and the former U.S. Secretary Stephen Mnuchin. I can't say it. The first asking them to address the issue, and the second urging them to launch a public awareness campaign. Many convenience retailers got creative in their responses to the issue with their own customer awareness and incentive campaigns aimed at getting customers to bring in their coins. David Ryder, director of the U.S. Mint, recently published a public service announcement discussing the issue. And the U.S. Coin Task Force launched the Get Coin Moving campaign and have published a number of recommendations and resources to educate and motivate consumers to redeem their coins. I didn't see any of it. Did you? We can see Mr. Ryder right here. We see all these coins, and you can see the U.S. Mint asked Americans to circulate change to combat coin shortage, and you can see how that was written back in 2020. Let's look at these countries who have taken some of their coins out of circulation. They got rid of the lowest denominations. We're just going to look at this, and I'm sure you're going to see your country on there. This has been a long time coming, getting rid of the currency little by little, the lowest denominations, and some countries have even went so far as to they have hyperinflation and their currency becomes worthless. Totally worthless is what happens to their currency, and you can't print enough money to keep up with that. You can't. So you could think, well, what if that happens here? Your money would be worthless. Okay, could you imagine going to the store and you want to buy a loaf of bread and it costs $100? Could you imagine that? Because inflation, hyperinflation, and then I guess you would have like stagflation, all this kind of stuff. Everything is happening, and it's not nice. It really isn't nice. But what can we do? We can prepare. We can prepare is exactly what we can do. We can take a look really fast at the Zimbabwe currency. Okay, look, central banks fight hyperinflation with banknote release. Zimbabwe is issuing a new note with a higher denomination, a $50 banknote, to join the already circulating $2, $5, $10, $20 notes that were introduced in 2019. And is that going to help? Will that solve their problem? No, they'll just have to keep printing more and more and more money. And see, that's the thing. With hyperinflation, it gets to a point where you can't print enough money to fight the hyperinflation. So then what is your next choice? Well, you're going to have to come up with another plan. That's what you're going to have to do. And you see Zimbabwe, $100 trillion issue, look, at one time. And then look, in Venezuela, this really is out of control. While testifying before Congress on Wednesday, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell offered his most extensive comments yet on the possibility of a central bank digital currency. He confirmed that the Fed is working on a report for a release around September of this year, 2021, that will break down the risk and benefits not only of CBDCs, but will also address digital payments broadly, such as crypto assets and stable coins. We want to begin really a major public consultation across many different groups, including Congress, of course, on a CBDC and also on stable coins and cryptos. That's interesting. That's coming in September of 2021, you all. I want to thank you for staying with me through this entire video. If you were brave enough to hear about this digital currency, this coin shortage. I think it plays a role in what's happening in the world today. I really honestly do. I think everything is interconnected with one another, and it's global. This stuff is happening global, okay? On a global scale, it's happening. So with that being said, I would encourage you to prepare on the inside of here, and you've got this information right here that has been put out there. Okay, you may not like the people who put the information out there, but that's okay. Nonetheless, the information is out there. The plans are already put into motion, and one day it's going to turn into complete fruition. I don't know what's happening along the way. Well, we can see what's already happening, but as we progress further down this road to this CBDCs, a central bank digital currency. So if you hear that term, you know what it means. It's a central bank digital currency. The central banks want to have their own currency. They want to have control over digital currency, regulations and everything. And if you own digital currency, if you sell digital currency, they want a record of that too. The IRS wants that information. It's going to be required. And it's going to get to the point that even if you buy into that digital currency, when they implement the VAT tax, you're going to be taxed on the value of your home, whether you own it or not, whether you sell it or not. You're going to be taxed on the value of your 401ks, the value of your digital currency, whether you're just holding it or not. You're going to be taxed on that currency. You may say, Gina, do you know that for a certain? No, I cannot 99% tell you that that is a certain. Okay, I can't tell you that, but I can 50% tell you that that is being spoken about, because they're not going to have unregulated digital currency that they can't track. And this coin shortage, I think it could be, quite possibly, this is my personal opinion, you all, it is my personal opinion. They've got to get as much money out of circulation as possible. Okay, they do. So who knows what the future holds? I know that we're on this road and we're headed head first into the future, and we've got to be prepared. So with that being said, hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello from my heart to yours, and thank you so much for watching this video, and please give this video a thumbs up. This is like a little introduction into this digital world, and you know, it affects us all, no matter where you live, whether you live in the United States or whether you live in another country. Your country is going through a lot of change also. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Love you.